All right, welcome back to another episode of Sean and Ed's Do Baseball.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Ed's.
And we're doing baseball history.
That's right, we're a bi-weekly baseball history podcast where the story catcher doesn't know what the story pitcher is out on the mound throwing them.
Yeah, that makes it more fun.
It makes it certainly more interesting.
Sure does. Well, pitching today, and this is going to be our last one at 2025.
It's the season finale. For the season finale, is that your two loons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's still one more two loons left in there for
absolutely.
me? Okay.
And we should thank two loons as we get into one here. Check them out at twoloonsbrewing.com. Check out their West Coast IPA, their regular IPA, and their lager. Find them at your local watering hole or your local LCBO if you're in Ontario. And, of course, as always...
please be of legal drinking age and, of course, enjoy responsibly. And as a responsible listener, first of all, thank you for listening, wherever you're listening, and give us a rating, a review. It really helps the podcast. We sort of skipped over it, but if you're looking for us on social media,
Sure.
You can find us at Doing Baseball or at Doing.Baseball. Somewhere along the World Wide Webs, as we've been referring to it lately, you'll be able to find us at one of those two handles. So join the conversation, give us a story idea. Just, generally say hello if you feel like it, because we love to hear from you. And again, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Give it a follow, a rating. All of it helps. But now we'll do this. I mean, we've covered a lot this season. I'm trying to think back on what we've covered.
I don't even. When was Jack Lorkey the start of this
Jack
season?
Lorkey was absolutely
It's
the
been
start.
such a whirlwind this year with trying to. We've done this whole season basically separated.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to do all these online, except for, save for a couple episodes here. This one we're actually doing in person, which will be a nice change from how things have gone down this season. But once I get myself a little more settled, not to get too into my own personal life, but once I get a little more settled, hopefully we'll be able to go back to doing more in-person presentations, if you want to call it that.
Sure. Well, I figured to end it, first of all, there's one, well, not just one section, but there's one group of people that we haven't highlighted, and I thought this was going to be much more of them, but...
Okay, are you about to get started right now?
I'm about to get started.
Okay, before you get started,
Okay.
though, I just want to interrupt you quickly for a
Sure.
second, because I've noticed that we've forgotten to do a bit of shtick
Okay.
for the last couple times, so bring it back. What kind of pitch are you throwing for us today,
Oh,
Sean?
God. Well, I'm gonna go with the splitter. It's just
Okay.
gonna be pretty regular, and then it'll fall off the table. Not in the most tragic way, but let's just say it's you won't know where this story ends
Okay.
halfway through. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So Richard Higham was born July 24th, 1851 in Ipswich, County Suffolk, England, to Mother Mary and Father James.
Okay. What's his name again?
Richard Higham.
Richard Higham.
Yeah, Higham. Higham?
Spell it again?
Higham. Like high and then AM.
Higham.
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 Higham? Okay, either way.
Am high.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, yes.
In December 1853, as his dad moves from England to the United States, the family follows 6 months later in May 1854, including his mother, brother, and aunt, who joined his father and uncle in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Okay.
So he's born English, but he's like 2 or 3 when they move.
Yeah.
They call him Dick, as you do with Richards back then.
Of course.
And he grows up in Hoboken. His father worked alongside his uncle, running a tailoring business and then opening a restaurant on East Houston Street called The Office in 1865. On
All
top of
right.
those
It's a
jobs,
perfect name. I'm just going down to the office,
perfect.
right?
Where are you going for lunch? No, just eating the office.
I'm just eating at the office.
So, on top of that, James is a star cricket player with the New York Cricket Club. And he starred for the American All-Star team against the Canadian All-Stars from 1856 to 1860. So his dad's like a really good cricket player. But the boys in the family don't grow up playing cricket. They grow up playing baseball.
Of course. Because cricket back then was as like today in North America is a dying sport.
Well, I guess. Right? I mean, there was a New York Cricket Club, and oddly enough, I forget who it was, but his dad also played with another dad who was the father of a Hall of Fame baseball player as well.
Okay.
So it's big enough that they have like all-star matches against Canada. But the boys grew up playing baseball, and for the first record we have that I could find was 1869 for Dick Higham. At age 17, he played for the New York Umpire, who had been a part of the National Association of Baseball Players. Then he played for the Morrisania Unions in 1870, and then finally found his team with the New York Mutuals at the end of the 1870 season.
Okay.
In 1871, the inaugural year of the National Association, the Mutuals were one of the teams. Higham played 21 games for the team and recorded teams in a recorded 30 games, so he plays 21 out of 30 games. He played mostly second base and right field, but he did catch 12 innings in one game.
Okay. So they strapped the tools of ignorance on him, stuck him behind the plate one game.
Yeah, and it
For
happened
12
to be
innings.
12
Yeah.
innings. In just
Quite an assignment.
he
Working overtime.
he hits though. He's in 96 plate appearances. He hits 364 with 4 extra base hits. So
That's not bad.
not huge power, but high average.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of starts dying the next year. Like his mom dies in June, and then his aunt and dad die like within a year of that.
Oh.
So he's
It's a
like,
tragically rough go.
yeah, it's very much an in passing statement because all I could
Yeah.
find was just like, and most of his adults in his life died. So the following season, he took his talents to Baltimore, though he would spend a majority of his career in NYC. With the Baltimore Canaries, also of the National Association, he played in 50 games, half of which was as a catcher. But he put up similar numbers in a larger sample size this time. He hits 343 with 11 extra base hits, including 2 home runs.
Okay. How many games was that, did you say?
He plays 50 games.
Okay.
Yeah. And half as a catcher. So now he's like becoming more of a catcher.
His power numbers have improved a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you want to hear how ridiculous the National Association was? So, the Canaries finished tied for second in the National Association. They had 35 wins. The team that they were tied with, the Philadelphia Athletics, only had 30 wins.
How?
Because nobody played the same amount of games.
Okay.
Like, not even close.
So it's based on percentage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Canaries played 58 games, which was the most in the league, with the Athletics playing 47 and the championship Red Stockings playing 48. It's like the teams fold. So a few teams folded or switch leagues. Like we talked about the Cleveland Forest Cities in the Whites Brothers episode. They played just 22 games that year.
And then they were out.
Yeah. The Troy Haymakers played just 25. There were teams that weren't even that bad. Brooklyn Eckforts, though, were very bad. They went 3-29 before folding.
Ooh.
And the Washington Nationals played 11 games, lost every single one.
And they just were like, let's close this shop up and get out of here.
Done.
Yeah.
That's early baseball for you.
Okay.
So Higham returns to the Mutuals in 1873 and evenly split his time as a catcher, second baseman, and right fielder. His hitting slipped to 316 and only 9 extra base hits in 247 plate appearances. And in 1874, his on base slipped all the way down to 270.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's no good.
He's got bigger power that year. He gets 18 extra base hits, which was pretty good at the time. And he had bigger things to worry about, though, because at 22 years old, he became the manager of the New York Mutuals.
All right, they're just really throwing this guy to the fire.
Yeah, I'm like, no wonder you're hitting slip. Like, you're catching
Yeah.
more, and now you're the manager.
Yeah.
The team started 13-12 under manager and then shortstop Tom Carey, and like Carey didn't go anywhere. He was still the shortstop. But they were just like, "You're not manager."
Yeah, they stripped him of his captaincy,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
How embarrassing.
Under Higham, the team went 29-11, but still finished 7.5 games back of the Boston Red Stockings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
So they just can't. They can't win though. And William Hulbert, an owner of the Chicago White Stockings, he sends Nick Young to New York to engage Dick Higham about managing the Chicago White Stockings.
Okay, so he got a little visit from Uncle Nick.
Yeah, exactly. It's before the 1875 season.
Wait, was this was to make him the manager? He got a visit from from Uncle Nick.
They're trying to bring him in. Like the
Oh,
rules.
okay.
The rules aren't in place yet that you can't go poach other people's guys.
Right. Okay.
So Chicago sends Uncle Nick to go get him. Either way, so he signs with them. He actually doesn't manage them. He is their captain though. So they're weird, but either way, he doesn't manage, but he's the captain of Chicago in 1875. He catches 24 games for the White Stockings, and things would go very sideways in the Windy City. He would not finish the year there. White Stockings manager Jimmy Wood described his new captain early on as one of the surest and heaviest batters in the country, has experience, and is first-class base runner.
All right.
So they're high on him.
So they're high on high.
And things changed quickly. After a hot start cooled, and it was clear that the White Stockings weren't going to win the pennant, blame fell on Higham and from the fans, the press, and the management. The Tribune went so far as to question whether he was throwing games.
Okay.
And I quote,
I mean, before you said the last part, like it seems unfair.
yeah, I mean, I guess
to
he's
scapegoat this one guy who's
Yeah.
just a baby.
I know he's like 24,
You know?
but he's like a veteran baseball player at this point because it just started like 4 years ago. Here's what the Tribune said, and I quote, "It is not a pleasant thing to say of any ball player that his being left out of a 9 increase interest of a game. But this is true of Higham, and yet he is one of the best players in the country when he wants to be. It may be Hyam's fault or his misfortune that he is suspected of purposefully losing games."
Okay. I don't have an opinion on that because all I'm getting is the newspaper's account of it.
Yeah.
So
I think they're
it's hard
just
for me to judge.
they're just also like making shit that people want to read.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's his fault that people are accusing him of this rumor that we're happily reporting to sell papers. So he
Let's
lost
get accusatory for the money.
and so he loses his captaincy and he moves from catcher to second base, and things did not get better. In August, after an 8-4 loss to the Athletics, in which Higham made 2 throwing errors and apparently let a ball go by him without even attempting to stop it.
Okay. I'm starting to see what the paper's talking about, maybe.
Yeah, and the Chicago Inter-Ocean, who had earlier defended Higham, jumped on the scapegoat train. And I quote, "Hyam's play in yesterday's game has caused some very ugly rumors to be circulated, in which he predominates as the leading character. His play in the 8th inning was something extraordinary, and it was quite evident he did not want to save Chicago from defeat. Many are fearless in asserting that he sold the game, and base their accusation on circumstance that seem very plausible."
Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like he's turning it on and off whenever he chooses to. I also want to just comment that the Inter-Ocean is an interesting name for a newspaper in Chicago.
Well, I guess Lake Michigan.
Yeah, is that the Inner Ocean?
Inner Ocean.
Is it Inner Ocean or Inter-Ocean?
Inter. Oh, yeah, Inter. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and they would kind of go on a little bit more into detail in the Inter-Ocean. And I quote, many persons who claim to know boldly assert that Higham was in partnership in the investments. He must either admit that he sold yesterday's game or acknowledge that he cannot play ball. In either case, the Chicago management can easily do without him.
Okay. So, obviously, gambling and throwing on games is this. It started right from the beginning.
Well, and I like that, but they're not even, there's no evidence of it. They're just like, either he sucks so bad,
Yeah.
or he's losing games on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, either way, cut him, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, again, like you say, they have no evidence, but based on how he performs when he's performing well, and then he has these lapses in play,
Sure.
that it's possible.
Yeah. Well, the Chicago Tribune went even a step further. Well, I'm sorry, they didn't go a step further. The White Stockings, the Chicago Tribune reported that the directors of the White Stockings offered a $500 reward for evidence that any player had been tampered with in any way. It was never reported whether the reward was given out, but on August 20th, the White Stockings released Dick Higham.
Okay.
So he goes back to the New York Mutuals and just fucking rakes because he hits 391 in 15 games compared to 236 that he hit in Chicago.
Maybe he was just doing that thing that sometimes players do. I want out of this town, so I'm just going to play like shit.
Exactly. He actually put up 0.1 more baseball WAR with the Mutuals that season than the White Stockings.
All right.
In 15
It's a
games.
slap in the face.
Yeah. 1875 would be the last for the National Association, and Higham was one of the only few dozen men that played the full term in baseball's first professional league.
Okay.
The National League debuted in 1876, and Dick Higham found a home in the outfield for the Hartford Dark Blues. He had a great year. His bat came to life. He led the league with 21 doubles and 314 plate appearances. He hit over 300 for the first time in 2 seasons. The Dark Blues would go 47-21, finishing 6 games behind the White Stockings.
Oh. Well, I feel like it was mutual that neither of them wanted to have the one on the other team. So
Yeah.
But it does add insult to injury, I guess, a little bit.
Just a little. He goes off and he's captain for the Syracuse Stars in the first year of the International League in 1877. He returns to the NL the next year with the Providence Grays and puts up his best year in pro ball, once again leading the league in doubles, this time also in runs scored. On May 4th, 1878, he hit a 3-run homer in the home opener at South End Grounds in Boston, right down the left field line, which was just about 250 feet, as the field was originally a bicycle track.
Okay. It's a short ride.
Yeah, no, but once again, it was like 460 to center and 250 down the lines.
I see. Very polo groundsy.
Very much. A lot of these early stadiums are like that, or like squeezed in. I mean, that's how you get the Green Monster at the end in Boston too.
Yeah. So you get a lot of those dual box stadiums. They were built to the confines of the pieces of land they had in the city.
Yeah. So he goes to Albany next for the National Association in 1879, but politics and sharp business practices by the team owners amid allegations that games were fixed resulted in a shift of the franchise to Rochester on May 9th, where they were named the Rochester Hop Bitters.
All right, I love it.
I've never heard that name.
What is a hop bitter?
I'm assuming the ingredient in beer. I think it's
That makes sense, I guess.
yeah, but it's still a strange one. At 28, Higham would finish his professional career with the Troy Trojans in 1880 and would play just one game, his last in the majors, May 25th, 1880, going 1 for 5 with a single and allowing 2 pass balls behind the plate. He finished his baseball career with a 307 batting average, which was and also a on base plus slugging that was good for 119 OPS plus. He played parts of 8 seasons that were recorded, at least that I could find professionally, but he really played for like 11, 12 years. 12 years professionally. He retires to the Troy area, but he wouldn't be retired for long.
All right. Like, feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like there's a career change coming, but perhaps not. There is.
There is. Who haven't we talked about this year? There's this one group of people.
The Bisons?
No. Dick Higham becomes an umpire.
Oh, of course.
That's what I thought this story was about, but I realized I'm like, I got to cover his whole professional career.
Yeah.
So, as we've discussed before, early days of the games, teams would simply select somebody to ump, especially early days of the National Association. So he was selected. He's got experience because he played in the National Association back when they were just like, Dick will umpire.
Yeah. It's like a softball league.
Yeah. So during the National Association, home teams chose the umpire from a list of 5 names submitted from the visiting club. At the time, with pro baseball being so young, it was mainly former players or current players who umped, as most people didn't know all the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's interesting that that's the move they go when the newspapers are complaining about people throwing games.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, God.
Right.
Have I stepped into some foreshadowing?
You win. But let's first talk about how the game is changing. So as a rookie ump, Higham had to learn some new things for the 1881 season that hadn't applied to him as a player. The mound was moving back 5 feet. Runners were now required to return to their occupied base or risk being put out after a play or once a dead ball was returned to the pitcher. So,
okay.
That's a weird one. So I guess
they could just hang out off base.
Yeah, as long as they touch the base, they're good.
Right.
And so basically pickoffs weren't a thing until then.
Yeah.
So temporary substitute runners were prohibited, and most hilarious but not surprising, the league stated that umpires must now use their best judgment on the legitimacy of a catch by a fielder before an umpire could take the testimony of bystanders nearest to the player attempting to make the catch to help his decision.
What?
They're like, umpires, you gotta just make the call. No more asking people.
No more asking the audience.
Yeah. In fact, in the 1880 winter meetings, the modern umpire was somewhat born, with the umpire being made league officer, making him responsible only to the league. So at least in theory, he was independent of any club influence.
Okay.
Stiffer punishment.
I'm still stuck on the fact that they made a rule where you weren't allowed to ask for input from the fans or from the rest of the players. Like, what was even the point of having an umpire before that was a rule?
just to like probably mark it down.
I guess they were just a stenographer at that
exactly. Point. Just out, I guess.
Yeah.
What? Who?
Who's
closer?
What do you guys think?
So stiffer punishments were also put in place, with rules now stating any player in the future found guilty of offering, agreeing, conspiring, or attempting to lose any game of ball or being interested in any pool or wager they would be expelled now officially. So this is the first time that actually it's written that like you can't wager on the games.
Yeah.
So the NL was the goody two-shoes league, as we talked about last time.
Uh-huh.
They put in the rules about drunkenness and insubordination, and I quote, any dishonorable or disreputable conduct would be subject to suspension. So finally, like, umpires have the ability to suspend players for that. Still, it's odd that Dick Higham was accepted as an umpire with the rumored allegations of gambling, as you've already touched upon.
Yes.
He was nominated for the National League by the National League owners, who voted on on umpire candidates at the time and accepted Higham. He got the third highest vote total. Higham was assigned to the Providence Grays to start the year, and would later move to Detroit and then Troy, and then finally back to Detroit to finish the year. That first year, 1881, he umpired a total of 58 National League games, and I believe he was paid $5 a game, or the equivalent to about $160 in today's money.
All right. That's pretty good, but I'm sure that's nowhere near what guys are getting paid now.
Oh no, it's very early days, and he returns. And notice he's getting assigned to teams for like a period of time, because there's still just like one umpire, I'm pretty sure, if not two. So he's assigned to Detroit to start the next year, 1882, and he was very close to the Detroit team. I even read in a few things that he played in exhibition games for Detroit, so games that didn't count. I didn't find anything recorded of that, though. Things were evolving in the league, and now pitchers were allowed to throw sidearm. On top of that, a walk was now after 7 balls and not 8 balls.
What?
Yeah, that was the previous rule.
7?
Dick Higham walked 17 times in his 8 years recorded.
Holy.
Yeah. So that's different. Season starts on May 1st, and the first weeks are normal for Dick and the Detroit Wolverines. And then at the end of May, a letter is found, either on the street or at a hotel, possibly by a private detective that the league or the Wolverines had hired, but possibly not. But the letter was addressed to a well-known Detroit gambler named James Todd, and it purportedly stated a proposal to arrange for cipher dispatches about the games, letting Todd know whether to bet on Detroit or on their opponents in the upcoming Eastern road trip.
Okay.
The letter
sketchy. Could have been a plant, but
the letter was signed just Dick.
all right. Well, that doesn't, that's very circumstantial.
Very circumstantial. But the letter is given to Detroit Club president William Gillon Thompson, who also happened to be the mayor of Detroit. Thompson investigated, and on June 18th, he wrote a telegram stating, and I quote, "I hereby prefer charges against umpire Richard Higham for having violated Section 45 of the Constitution and playing Rule 67. 67. Anyways.
Oh, God.
On June 24th, 1882, a committee of the Board of Governors of the National League, consisting of Buffalo's James A. Mugridge, who was chair, Gardner Earl of Troy, and Worcester's Freeman Brown as secretary. Fucking great rich guy names.
Those are great rich guys' names. By the way, it's Worcester.
Worcester. Sorry. Worcester. So they meet in Detroit to essentially have a trial to assess the allegations against Higham.
Okay, so they have a kangaroo court.
Yeah, he's allowed to testify and claimed he had not written the letter, as the New York Clipper reported, and I quote, "Higham was heard in his own defense and vigorously protested his innocence, denying that he wrote the letter. But it was alleged that 4 experts had compared it to other letters of his and pronounced the writing identical. Freeman Brown, manager of Worcester's, testified that Higham was seen in the society of a gambler when in Worcester, Massachusetts." So they're like, "This guy, I saw him with a gambler once."
All right. I mean, that's very convincing evidence.
Yeah, and they're doing the handwriting comparison thing.
Uh-huh.
So the committee
early forensics.
Exactly. The committee votes, and they first confirm that the charges preferred by the Detroit club against Higham. So they're like, yeah, this is legit shit. And then the league against Richmond league umpire are fully sustained. Sorry, That's what they prefer by the Detroit club against Richard Higham, league umpire, are fully sustained. They then voted on the motion that Richard Higham be forever disqualified from acting as an umpire of any game of ball participated in by a league club. So,
So he's been convicted.
he's banned.
Yeah.
A report, along with a covering letter to League Secretary Nick Young, that read in part, quote, "The evidence outside of the letter was circumstantial but wholly conclusive."
All right.
Dick denied point blank when questioned that he knew a gambler in Detroit or any other city, but each member of the board happened to know the men with whom he associated when in their respective cities. So we soon satisfied him that he was lying, and we knew it. It appears that while in Detroit he associated with Todd, and the proprietor of the Brunswick House says they passed notes at the hotel almost daily. Dick's defense was so weak that he acted throughout so much like a guilty man that we could not come to any other conclusion than the one we reached. Dick was broke in pocket, and he made up a purse of $15, to which the Detroit players added 12, and he started Saturday evening for New York. Mr. Thompson is entitled to a great credit for prosecuting the case. His club has been benefited by Highams' umpiring and would have continued to have been in his favor had not Mr. Thompson shown him up.
All right.
So he's banned, but he's
And he's got $27 in his pocket.
apparently apparently, and he's fined. Yeah. So he's out, and he's banned from baseball essentially as an umpire. He was first and only umpire banned still to this day. Technically, he wasn't guilty of betting on baseball, but the group found him guilty of being dishonest.
Okay.
So it's like they're like it's circumstantial, but like
Yeah.
because we believe he lied to us about who he associated with clearly they probably had some info on
It
it.
seems like something was going on there.
Yeah. So he never umps a pro game again. He maintains his innocence, and technically there was, as we're talking about, no hard evidence. The letter, though suspicious, could have been a forgery. And Saber Bio by Harold Higham puts it, no hard evidence was ever presented, and he was convicted on circumstantial evidence and hearsay, and was somewhat banned by guilt of association. And I quote, Dick Higham never confessed to any wrongdoing and denied such accusation, never resigned from his position as a league umpire. His activities were not subject of an investigation by any private detective, nor were they confronted by the findings of any private detective. He did not draw any suspicions of owners of the Detroit team for their losing out on a close call or having close games go against them. So this guy might be related to him, but
I was going to say, my great grandfather is innocent.
Mm-hmm. There were lots of close games Detroit lost.
Yeah.
After the year, the NL adopted the American Association's practice of not allowing umpires to be associated with any particular team. And fair or not, Highams' decade plus in baseball career was over. After baseball, Dick Higham went on to work as a bookkeeper across the Midwest, including Detroit, Kansas City, and Chicago. And in 1900, a census had him living in Chicago and working as a bartender.
Of course, they all become saloon keepers or bartenders or something at this time, unless you're one of the White brothers. You go into optometry.
There you go.
Anyway,
Well, he marries his wife Clara, and they have a son named Harold, and he was born in December 1889 in Kansas City. Their second son George was born in April 1896 in Chicago, and Dick Higham unfortunately would die young at 53 in St. Luke's Hospital from pneumonia and complications from dropsy. Sorry.
dropsy?
Dropsy. Classic dropsy.
What is that?
I don't know, but we can look it up.
I'll look it up. You carry on.
Well, he's buried in Chicago. It's basically a pneumonia.
Okay.
Yeah. yeah, so he's buried in Chicago. And you know,
See, when I look it up, it says old-fashioned or less technical term for edema,
okay,
which I don't know what that is either.
damn it, we're going down a.
Yeah.
Well, the other reason I wanted to bring up Dick Higham was
Hold on, which ironically, dropsy in informal British English is a tip or a bribe.
very ironic.
Coincidentally.
He died doing what he loved. So, there's another good reason to bring up Dick Higham to finish 2025 season. Because as you probably know, Edsy, we don't try to be too topical on here, but there was a betting scandal in baseball
Uh-huh.
in 2025 with people getting fired per se. And I'm not talking about Emmanuel Clase
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking
and
about.
Luis Ortiz. Pat Hoberg was widely regarded as one of the game's best umpires. He called a perfect game in Game 2 of the 2022 World Series, but Hoberg was fired officially on February 2025, despite Rob Manfred saying there was no evidence that Hoberg directly bet on games or manipulated the outcome of games in any way. Sound familiar?
It sounds very familiar.
Hoberg shared a betting account with a friend and claimed it to only place non-baseball bets. But his friend did not. And of the 141 baseball bets placed from his friend's account, 8 bets involved 5 games that Hoberg umpired.
Now, this evidence is very circumstantial, Sean, but
yes.
very damning, in my opinion.
Well, there's no evidence that Hoberg took action to manipulate the outcome of those games, per se. A detailed analysis did not reveal any pattern to indicate Hoberg's calls were influenced by the bets that his friend was making. But still, Hoberg was fired in May 2024 and appealed, of course, and then the firing was officially upheld in 2025. Unlike Higham, he's not banned, but obviously he's not
an umpire.
He's not an umpire for the next little while.
Well, fair enough. I mean, whether or not he made bets himself or didn't do so, but
Yeah.
like you have to be some kind of moron
Yeah.
to share an account.
Yeah, apparently the guy lived in a state where you couldn't do it.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he asked us, he's like, "Oh, you live in Iowa, just open up an account there
Yeah.
and then I'll have access."
It seems beyond fishy.
Oh, I know. Well, and it's same with Dick, right? Like he was he everywhere he went, these kind of allegations chased him and there was never hard evidence.
Yeah.
And like you could argue that they were too harsh on him but at the same point,
Oh, yeah. It's again, the evidence, although circumstantial, is very damning.
yeah.
It's it seems very likely that there was something going on in both of those cases.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's it. That was Dick Higham, and that was, I got nothing more for you, but I just realized that I'm like, oh, umpire betting scandal. We just had one of those. Let's do it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Again, we try not to get too topical on the podcast, but if it's relevant, we'll talk about it. So,
Heck yeah. History rhymes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, till 2026. That sounds weird. Follow us on the internet at Doing Baseball. Give us a review, give us a rating, give us a follow, whatever. Enjoy the holidays and the new year. And until next time, I'm Sean.
And I'm Eds.
And we were doing baseball.
Okay, bye.
Oh, it's fun!